Hey, and welcome back to CryptoNinjas. Linea is the long-awaited Ethereum Layer 2 that's about to launch their token and airdrop program on September 10th this year. The testnet has been up and running for years, and finally, we're here. So this video, I'm going to do a quick review about Linea, what makes it different, and most importantly, talking about the Linea token airdrop and price prediction after listing. Let's go. But before we get into the video, make sure to like, subscribe to CryptoNinjas, and use our Binance referral code for 20% off of trading fees and up to $100 in new user bonus. Thank you very much. All right, let's start with the basics. So Ethereum, I think everybody knows what it is. It powers DeFi apps, NFTs, and tons of cool projects like the bustling New York City of crypto. But here's the catch. Transactions can be slow and the gas fee, ouch, they can hit your wallet hard, sometimes costing 20 or more just to send Ethereum. Well, it's better now with the recent updates where it only costs about $1 to $2, but in peak hours, it's still gonna cost a lot. And that is where Linea and other layer 2s come in. Linea is an Ethereum layer 2 built by Consensus, a company founded by Ethereum's co-creator, yes, Joseph Lubin. Think of Linea as a super fast highway next to Ethereum's busy streets. It processes thousands of transactions off-chain, bundles them up with some fancy math called zero-knowledge proofs, and sends just a tiny summary back to Ethereum. The result? Well, transactions are up to 15 times cheaper, sometimes just pennies, and still just as secured as Ethereum itself because they post the proofs back on Ethereum and use Ethereum's layer of security. Plus, Linea is a ZK EVM, which means any app built for Ethereum, like your favorite DeFi protocol or NFT marketplace like Uniswap, for example, or OpenSea, works perfectly on Linea without any changes. As of right now, millions of wallets are using Linea with hundreds of millions of transactions already processed. There are more details about what Linea is, but I'm going to leave it to you guys to do your research. So why should you pick Linea over the other layer 2s like Optimism or Arbitrum? Well, great question. Most layer 2s fall into two camps: optimistic rollups like Optimism and Arbitrum, or zero knowledge rollups like Linea or ZK Sync. Optimistic rollups assume transactions are legit but need a week-long waiting period to finalize, which can be a hassle. Linea's zero-knowledge rollups, or ZK rollups, use cryptographic proofs to confirm transactions instantly. Boom, done. This makes Linea faster and more secure. But here's the real kicker. Linea is like Ethereum's biggest cheerleader. It buybacks and burns 20% of the transaction fees it collects in Ethereum, which reduces Ethereum supply and can make Ethereum more valuable over time. As you all know, layer 2s are said to be quote unquote vampires of Ethereum since they take advantage of Ethereum security without paying enough fees back to the network. Linea straight up giving 20% is a major deal if the network succeeds. What about the other 80%? Well, Linea uses it to buy back and burns its own Linea tokens, making them scarier too. No other layer 2 ties its success so closely to Ethereum's, which is why Linea stands out. It's not just another blockchain, it's Ethereum's trusty sidekick. Now, let's talk about why Linea is such a big deal for Ethereum and why the co-founder of Ethereum is so excited. Starting in October 2025, when you bridged Ethereum to Linea, say to use a DeFi app or play a random crypto game, that Ethereum will automatically start earning staking rewards, just like if you were staking on Ethereum's mainnet. This means your Ethereum can work double duty, earning you yields while powering cool apps on Linea. Plus, Linea's tokenomics are super community focused. They launched the Linea token on September 10th, 2025, with a total supply of 72 billion tokens. And get this, 85% of those tokens go strictly to the community. 10%, that's 7.2 billion tokens, are for early users like us through airdrops, and 75% to fund new projects, developers, and growth over the next 10 years. That's one of the biggest community funds in crypto history. The remaining 15% will go to Consensus, the parent company, but obviously it's locked up for at least 5 years, so they can't just dump it right away. Unlike some layer 2 tokens that control voting, Linear tokens are all about rewarding usage and shrinking supply through the Burns program. This setup makes Linear a true extension of Ethereum, which is why Lubin calls it the silver to Ethereum's gold. It scales Ethereum without stealing its thunder. Okay, let's get to the juicy part, the Linea Airdrop. On September 10th, 2025, Linea dropped about 9.36 billion tokens to nearly 750,000 wallets, one of the biggest airdrops ever, close to a million wallets even. If you want to know if you're one of the lucky ones, well, here's how it works in super simple terms. Step 1, check your eligibility. Head over to the link down in the description and connect your Ethereum wallet like MetaMask, and it will show you if you qualify and how many tokens you're getting. The airdrop rewards two main campaigns, Linear Voyage and Linear Surge. Linear Voyage LXP, you needed at least 2,000 LXP points earned by doing stuff on Linear before July 2025, like swapping tokens, minting NFTs, or bridging assets. The more LXP you have, the more tokens you get, split into 7 reward tiers. You also got 10% boosts if you use Linear before March 2024's Dankun upgrade, or were active in 6 different months between August 2024 and June 2025, or used MetaMask features like swaps, bridging, staking, or their card. For the Linear Surge LXP-L, this one's for liquidity providers. You needed at least 15,000 LXP-L points earned by holding assets like Ethereum or stablecoins on Linear and depositing them into protocols like Aave or Uniswap. The more liquidity you provided, the bigger your share. There's also a 1% bonus airdrop for developers building on Linear. Linear kicked out over 800,000 fake accounts or Sibyl to keep things fair, so only legit users made the cut. Step 2, claim your tokens. Now, if you're eligible, congratulations, you can claim your tokens at the same website between September 10th and December 9, 2025. That's a 90-day window, so don't sleep on it. Unclaimed tokens will go back to Linear's ecosystem fund to support future projects. Step 3, stay safe. Only use the official site linear.build. Scammers are out there pretending to be Linear or their support, so never share your private keys or seed phrases. If you're not eligible, well, don't worry. Linear's ecosystem is growing and more opportunities might pop up, aka Season 2 airdrop. Alright, finally, let's talk about the best part of this video, my own price prediction of Linear token. Now, on several pre-markets like MEXC or even Binance Futures or KuCoin, for example, then you can clearly see that the floor price is at about $0.03 or 3 cents. Now, at this current price, the FTV of Linear would be around $2.1 billion. If you compare that to similar layer 2 projects like Arbitrum, Optimism, Startnet, ZK Sync, then you're going to see at about $2 billion in FTV is actually a fair valuation for Linear. Arbitrum is sitting at about, I think, $4.8 to $5 billion in FTV, and for Optimism, it's sitting at about $3 billion in FTV, while Startnet, for example, or ZK Sync, they're sitting at about $2 billion to about $1 billion in FTV. So 2 billion for Linear is actually in the middle, and I think when it's launched at this price, it's fair. After listing though, I think Linear will drop down to about 20 cents or even lower. Now, with that said, I don't think Linear will continue dumping because as the ecosystem grows and more people are using it, hopefully more people will use Linear and it's not going to be dead like, other layer 2s. And when people use Linear, 80% of those fees are going to be used to burn Linear directly on open markets. That will create a huge demand for Linear and obviously reduce the supply. So I hope when that happens, the price of Linear will bounce back from 20 cents to at about 35 cents, or at least a 2x from that price. So to recap, I think at the launch price, Linear is going to be at about 30 cents, just like the pre-market price that we're seeing at right now. And then it will drop slightly to about 20 cents or even a little bit lower. After that, it's going to go sideways. And depending on the market and obviously on Linear's performance, we might see a bounce back to about all-time high at about 35 to 40 cents and then continue slowly going down. And there you have it. Linea is your ticket to a faster, cheaper Ethereum. However, it's still a matter of fragmented liquidity, and I don't think we can solve it anytime soon. With that said, Linea is trying its best to give 20% of all the fees back to burn Ethereum tokens. That's better than most layer 2s that we see. Now, if you're new to crypto, Linears is a great place to start exploring DeFi or NFTs without breaking the bank. Head to Linear website right now to check if you're eligible and claim your tokens before December 9th, 2025. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Hit that like button and subscribe for more crypto content. I'll make sure to reply to each and every one of you. Thank you very much for watching, and remember to use our Binance referral code for 20% off trading fees and up to $100 in new user sign up. Take care and daily out.